welcome to the top 50 buildings in Consortium, all ranked. We've just built the 50th one today, so now we're going to be ranking them. So, number 50 over here. This little shit small thing.
It's not that bad.
It's not bad, it's more of I hear my own feedback, cool. It's just small.
Tiny, yeah.
Oh, I forgot.
Does
Remnants
this
is
count?
here. I don't think that counts. Right, moving on to number 49, we have the lovely FC car just over here.
Questionably small.
Yeah, that's the problem with this. It's just small, very nice on the inside, and it's got interior and redstone, but it's just small. Now, crossing the street to number 48, we have this, shitty shops. This is fine, it's just out of place, really.
And the roof does look like a bit of plastic bubble wrap.
Well... Now, number 47, built by the creator of Shitty Shops, is this, the lovely burger joint. This was one of the first buildings in the city, and of the 4 main contributors, this is one of the first ones, well, it was the first one built by one of us, and one of 2 first ones.
In the entire city?
The second one left. I built my cake shop first, but then I got rid of it. So this was about the 3rd building, but 2nd at surviving. It's undergone a few changes. It's got very dodgy goings and comings in the back.
It's also got, don't forget to mention the
yes,
food.
we also added a drive-through in the back with a lovely little car park here. Now,
next to Justin Plaza.
Yes, now number 46 we have over here. The worst thing to build, I think, for me, this little car park. Now, this was one of the earlier things in the building. Yeah, it is big. The problem with it is the road markings look awful. You'd get lost immediately. It's just not a good building. It really isn't. Unfortunately, which is a shame because we spent a lot of sessions making it. Now, this is a bit of an odd one here. At number 45, we have this grey one in front of me. However, I've recently changed this, and I haven't updated the ranking to reflect it. So, really, this is a bit higher up now.
Yeah, definitely looks better.
In fact, I think, originally, it was this grey building as the 45th, the museum as the 44th, and that blue terracotta as the 42nd. I'd say the blue terracotta's worse, then the museum, now this grey one. So the grey one is now in the old position for it. So what would that be? I've already lost count. 40... I don't know. I'll just say next. So after this blue terracotta building, what colour is this? It's like light blue, it looks purple. Next up we've got over here Wayne Tower. Now this probably will look like a good building, however it's not finished. So really I'd say this marks the edge of good buildings and bad buildings. It's just not finished.
Waiting for the creator to finish it.
Now after Wayne Tower we're moving into the suburbs for the first suburban building. Well, 2 technically. It's these 2 long ones with the blue roofs. Personally,
weird.
I just find these to look a little bit... I suppose they're lanky almost, really.
They are very accurate to the walls.
They are accurate, they're just not very good.
I always get killed by HDRs in them at the top sections.
Now, next up, we have this building specifically, which I've just noticed is finished, it just hadn't loaded in, never mind. Now, this building I like, because it's fairly simple, but also looks good. Now, moving directly on to next to it, is this one, because I made this one, someone else made that one.
It's just a copy paste.
It literally copy paste. It's my ranking. Now, next up, Oh, I've done something very stupid here. No, I haven't. What am I on about? Next up, we have the second building made by World Founder. We move up over here. It's this little grey one bordering the sea.
One. No.
This is the most forgotten building in the world, which is why it can't really be any higher. Next up, we're moving all the way over here to my most recent skyscraper, which you'll probably not be able to recognise as Nakatomi Plaza. The problem with this is, although I think it's okay at the bottom, it needs to have a wider base at the bottom to be able to make the top look a lot better, which is the real problem. Now, moving on to this side of the block, we have this sandstone building with our Melos sponsorship.
Yeah, Melos sponsored it for this.
Now, this is bad because it's small, really. That's all there is to it. It's small. And as of that, I don't really like it that much.
Aye, it's just like the original sandstone.
Well, yeah, but it's small.
Small.
Now, moving on, we have the most boring building in all of the Consortium world. This. Now, the reason this sucks is because I lost the screenshot I was copying from and can't remember how I found the image, so this has to do. Now, next up, we have this. The first clone. Now, this is a good building, it's just I prefer the one it was based off of.
I think this is a bit blur, but...
And then directly after it, we've got the one next to it.
Yeah.
Moving on, we're going over here to what was originally planned to be a World Trade Center. And it's this lovely subway. Now, this is one of the only buildings in the world to have an interior. So we hop in, you talk to a minimum wage employee that doesn't care about their job and say, hello, I'd like a 6-inch hearty Italian with chicken and cheese, and then I'd like extra cheese after it's toasted, and then they judge you for not wanting all your cheese to be melted, because, yay, we've got a little back bit here with our ovens. And now, the best bit about this, there's no button to get out. Now, we move up here to have the least private toilets in the world, where you can see a man at his chair whilst taking a dump.
His finger's gone.
No, it's still there.
Oh yeah.
Now, moving on, we have the biggest misfire in this entire world, in my opinion. We're going over here to this fat fuck. Now, this building is so fat and tall, I hate it. I hate the roof specifically. It was based off a building from Spider-Man PS4, and it's awful. I really don't like it. Plus, I made it before I discovered commands. It took so long. It was just a miserable time building it.
I wonder if we'll ever get sick of it enough and we'll actually just destroy it.
It did happen before with the cake shop. Now, moving on, we have a building made by the same person that made the second, the third and the fourth worst. We have this actually quite nice skyscraper. Now,
Yeah,
it isn't
I
finished,
did the bottom sections, by the way.
but oh really? I never knew.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
did
finished, but I think it's really nice. It just doesn't really hold up as much as the others. Now, next up, we have a building which I redesigned today, in fact. We're going over here back to the suburbs, and we've got this one in my crosshairs, you can see here.
Much better than it was.
It was much better before. I had regular terracotta, which didn't really complement the stars on the side or the bricks. But I do think it looks a lot better now. Now, speaking of redesigns, this was redesigned last time we were on, and it's this one over here. This used to be a cake shop, and it was the worst. It looked like it had scaffolding. It was absolutely awful. But I really like how the redesigns turned out, and it's the only time I've used actual glass panes. So,
Yeah,
next up, we're going across the street to these twin buildings. Now, these are from the most progress that's ever been made in the city. I just finished making this police station. This building hadn't been finished, and I came back on to find the museum, Shitty Shops, FC Co, and these two. Now, specifically, the better one's the one on the right, because the one on the left hadn't been fully cloned over.
This was manually cloned, don't forget.
Yeah, as well.
Following you about commands.
Now, we're heading further down the suburbs to the lovely BP petrol station. Now, this is a very nice one, I think. I really like it. We've got access required 24/7, even though nothing ever goes in there because it's based off the one at our house. And the lovely BP logo. Now, moving on, we have a building which is marked as between petrol station and Ben Lodge, which I can only assume is this one. Now,
Best view in the city.
It is the best view in the city. The creator likes it. I just don't like light grey terracotta. But if we stand here, we've got a lovely view of the world. Now, moving moving further on, we're heading to behind the old cake shop. No, we're not. Sorry, we're off over here first. To Ben Lodge.
Ben Lodge? Not around?
Lovely Ben Lodge. Now we're actually off over here to the building behind the old cake shop. Which, again, I think it's okay, but light grey terracotta, I really don't like it.
I like it, but yeah, I know it, so I'm gonna like it.
Next up, we've got the first square suburb, which is one of the most abstract buildings in the world. However, while abstract, it is exactly cloned from the original design. It is perfect how it looks. And I haven't actually done a floor. Whoops. It turns out this isn't finished. I guess I know what I'm doing after I finish ranking these. Now, next up we have my flat number 1. Now, these flats are based on ones from down where I live, and it is a very accurate design. I really like these two. Specifically, the one on the left is better than the one on the right, just because it's closer to the middle of the city. Now, next up, we have the most recent build, in fact, which is this. Again, light grey terracotta, but I actually like it with the rest of the blocks. This is very nice. I do like this one. So, next up, we are moving all the way over here to my favourite building in the suburbs, other than my police station, which I love so much. And it is this lovely modern flat just next to the plaza.
Which weirdly I built but don't like.
Yeah, I really like this one. It is... I can't put my finger on it. I just think it's the balconies and everything about it. It's got good character, I think. And it's very recent. All the suburbs are, in fact. Now, moving on to number 15, and this is actually the 15th best building. The Precinct. Now, this is one of the only buildings to be decked out. So we go in here. Firstly, we've got some garages. Now, here's the forensics lab with the map of the world, which is just incredible. No, actually, this is fully up to date.
Oh, is it fully up to date?
It just needs the model shop on. You can see a weird train over there, and a wonky bridge at the top. Now, for helping us with commands, we've also got this showing what number goes with each colour. So 1 is orange, 2 is magenta, 3 is light blue, etc. And finally, we've also got, if we head up the staircase, we've got the suggestion board. So we're going to build Central Park, the precinct from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and the buildings next to the park, along with Alcatraz and some schools. Moving on, number 14, which is marked off as a weird-shaped building, which I think means this one, but I could be wrong, because my note... your weird-shaped one next to Nakatomi. Now, this building, personally, I like. It's just a bit weird.
It's a bit of an odd one,
yeah. Now, here is a real nostalgia trip, because at number 13, we have the first ever building to be made in Consortium.
Yeah.
This sandstone one. Yeah, built by him. And it is still one of the best. I remember when we first built it, there were about 6 of us on, and we all thought, oh my god, it's so tall. And now it really isn't. To be honest. It really has been outdone. Now, moving on, we have this, the first building made of bones, and also, this is the only block in the entire city, except for this one which isn't finished, to have no buildings from me in it. And that's something because I am, like, the first mate of the Consortium, I think, is the appropriate wording.
Yeah, this is
And this is still
me and Ryan.
And Fredster.
Oh yeah, you did that as well, yeah.
So, this is an alright building, I do like it, it's got a nice roof. And I think it's good, you know, it is 12th best. Now, one building which is better than that, because it's 11th, is this lovely thing. My helipad building. Now, this building's got a special place in my heart because I spent more time designing it than actually building it. It took about 2.5 hours to build, and about twice as long designing it, unfortunately. But I'm glad I spent so long, because it's well worth it. This is one of the best in the world. Now, speaking of the best, we're moving on into the top 10. We're kicking it off, we have this, the third burn building.
My favourite, no, second favourite burn building, I think.
Now, I do like this one, very burny, and it's also got some smooth quartz on it. And this was actually built back when smooth quartz didn't have a smooth texture, because bedrock.
Yeah.
Now, next door to this, we have one of the more abstract buildings which I made, which comes in at number 9. Now, I do like this one. I spent so long doing it because I didn't know about commands, and I actually really like it. I love the antenna on the top. It really adds something, I think. Overall, really solid building. I really do like this. Now, number 8 is directly next to it, in fact. This is my only burn building other than Ben Lodge. Now, I think everything about this I like. The roof is a bit iffy for me, but other than that, I really like it.
Controversial roof.
Controversial roof.
Yeah,
it was based on the one over there, which we already talked about. Now, moving on, kicking off the top 7, we have the third ever building to be made in this world.
Oh, yes.
And for a while, a very long time, this was tallest. It was only topped by that sandstone over there, which we'll get to soon. Now, this took a very long time to make, and I think it paid off. I didn't make it, but it's still really good. I do like it. Now, going to number 6, we have the building that was based off of this one, a lovely hotel.
Yeah, I enjoyed doing this one. This one's like an improvement, basically, on the original.
It really is just an improved version to show how better at building you got. Really, that's all it comes down to.
Yeah.
So, moving on from this, at the number 5 spot we have this. It's based off a building from Spider-Man PS4. I made it, and until the World Trade Center was made, this was the tallest in the world. Now, this does have a swimming pool in it, which is very nice, and the piece of resistance, it has that office where you can see people evacuate their bowels. Just up here. Wait, where is it, in fact?
Man, that's scaffolding.
Oh. What the hell? What is this? I never noticed that before.
It was on the picture of, like, a New York thing, so I just put it in the back.
I actually cannot find the toilet for this. Oh, it's over here. Here it is. And there's the man's office. I thought it took up the entire floor, which is what threw me off. Now, here's where it gets good. At number 4, we have the World Trade Center. Specifically, this one here, because 2 walls on this were cloned, and it doesn't have an antenna. There's also an X-Wing attacking it, because X-Wing. Yeah. Now, there's not much to say about this, because it was cloned and rebuilt. But this one is 3rd best building in the world. It's the first twin tower. It's goes to world limit, in fact. That torch is the highest point you can build on at 256. Oh no! Hang on. You can go 1 higher. I'm just gonna have to
go at me.
There we go.
Oh, wow.
Now at height limit. And pretty good build. Very tall, very good. Now, heading down to number 2, we're moving to the right. I think you'll agree here, Dylan. This was the biggest pain in the ass to build in the entire
This
city.
took the longest. Anything I've ever built.
The John Hancock building from Chicago.
Towers.
On fire because it's realistic.
Yeah.
And it took a pain. Now, moving on to the #1 building in the Consortium world. It's this bone building. Now, on the surface, it doesn't seem to be that good. Yet this holds a special place in all of our hearts, because it was built on New Year's. We were all in the cult. Only one person was in the world, being
Me.
him. And because he was heavily drunk while building it, firstly, the roof isn't symmetrical. But secondly, it is the only building no one has any memory of building. Because no one was in the world, and the person building it was pissed.
Yeah.
So, this is the #1 building in the world. I love it. Now, we have built 50, but there are a few more being built at the moment. Over here, we've got progress on a model train shop, because model trains are amazing. And progress on that's coming nicely. Now, for the other things we've also got some nice little car parks and sports areas. So promenades, I think they're called. Yeah, the plaza. We've also got a boat facing the wrong direction, a Loch Ness monster, a UFO, a plane, and can I just clarify, I would just like to clarify, the plane was here first. We did have the plane as one of the first things we built, we just remade it. It is purely coincidental that the tower's there. Honestly, we are not monsters. Now, over here, we've also got something from a little build-off between myself and my friend. Building a train. That's his, this is mine. The Flying Scotsman. Now, have I missed anything? Yes. We've got bridges here. That's a nice one. Yeah. And here's the other bridge. The plan really is we're not going to build on this side of the map till 2021. Can I see the stronghold? I think I just saw the stronghold over there through the map. Anyway. We've also got a little fire truck here because we do have lots of buildings and vehicles to go with them. We got a nice little jetty here, which I'm going to take a boat to show my favourite thing in the entire map, which is even better than the bone building. This is too slow, forget that. Now over here, what we've got, a map of the entire world, which someone made back in January of 2020, in the half-term holidays. This is the earliest image we have of the map, other than screenshots. So, here it is. The maps are locked, so they can never update, and as you can see, the most up-to-date thing in this we have is the car park.
I can't even remember this being put down.
No, it was our friend Ryan who found an abandoned mine shaft under here, so he marked it with that map, which Mr. Hatchieman found not long ago. So, that was the Consortium world. Very impressive, I think. Not to blow our own trumpets, but it's really good. We've also got a few other things which I haven't mentioned, like the Pornhub van with sex traffickers in the back, but you don't need to know about that.
Racist American police.
Yeah. Now, we've also got here a museum filled with memes from our school, which aren't to be shared because they're for us to enjoy. So, this is it for the city, other than the diamond penis, which goes to world limit. And there's a sign on the bottom saying world's largest cock. So, I do believe this is where it's going to end. There's a lot more to come of Consortium, so I hope you like it, because I love it, we all love it, it's amazing. Goodbye, thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
You better agree with the #1 spot, because it's brilliant.